Happy Monday, everybody. Gosh, I hope you had a great 4th. It wasn't long enough. We actually worked on Friday, so as y'all know, I shared with you that we had a lot of friends over Saturday at 6 o'clock for dinner, and it was crazy. It was crazy. I think we went to bed around 12:30 that night, and but you know what? Our hearts were so full. I don't know about y'all, but I love having people over. I love entertaining, and I realized I'm just going to walk with you for a minute because I'm going to get my water. How's it going? Hey, Brenda. Brenda from Nebraska. How's the weather in Nebraska? Hey, Lori. Hey, Julie. So this morning, I'm going to show you my craft wall that I created. So here's the deal. When I am doing Facebook Lives, when I'm working on projects, when I am developing new products, I like to have an area where everything's kind of organized, where I can put my hands on it and I see where it is. But here's the other thing. There's kind of an inner OCD that I don't know where it comes from, that I need things very orderly and it's in its place. Oh my gosh. Hey, Julie. Hey, Lori. Hey, Linda. Hey, Becky. Hey, Amanda. So I thought, wouldn't it be fun to be able to have it to where I could organize the products within a maker studio, like my ceramic paint and my inks and my gel inks and my chalk arts and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, this will become a project. So last week, it surely became a project, last couple of weeks, and I'm actually working on another table that I'll share with you later. But I won't go into that now. So anyway, if you are watching us and you have a brick and mortar or you're a retailer, we also have a beautiful Maker Studio display. But most of the ladies on here are makers and part of our affiliate program. And so I'm going to turn my camera around and I want to kind of show you what was the reason, the vision behind creating this board. And I'm going to let you know, it was really fairly inexpensive to be able to buy all these things that go along with it because most of them came from IKEA. And if you don't have an IKEA in your area, that's okay. You can order them online and they'll actually ship them to you. So I'm going to turn this around. I want to be able to show you. So this is my wall. I painted it in a coral, an Amy Howard at Home coral. And so let me explain this to you. There are actually 6 panels. So if you go to IKEA or if you go online, this is a panel. Can you see it as far as where the section here? And then it's about this wide. It's probably about 3 feet wide. And it acts as a pegboard that you'll apply, can you see the back of that, onto your wall? And so it's going to stick up just a little bit. That allows things like these baskets to be able to connect with it. And it's fairly simple because it has all these holes and you'll have to have some bolts on here where they'll bolt on it and other things are with brackets. So we did these 3-foot pegboard sections and we did 6 of them. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, 6, okay? So there's 6 of these individual boards, but when you put them all together like this, you can't really tell. They look like one. So you could go up. I'm actually going to put my logo and my name up there that's going to say A Maker Studio. So here's the deal. If you are an affiliate and hopefully you're in our training program and you're doing Facebook Lives, then I really encourage you to make a backboard like this and then print off. I'll be showing you about that later, and put the name of your company up at the top. So that way, as you're talking or if you're going live, they'll see the name, your brand. All right. So let's talk about this first panel. So this first panel, we're going to be filling this in and you'll see kind of the process. But one thing you want to make sure as you're doing this, it's all about color, guys. Hey, I want to look at some names. Hey, Dana. Hey, everybody. Okay. Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Sherilyn. Hey, Melanie. Okay. So if you're just now popping on, I'm showing you my new craft wall. And I'm going to go over the fact that most of these things I got at IKEA. So be sure to tell me where you're coming from. Send me some love. You can sprinkle. It's okay. It's all good. And because we're all about sharing, and this is all about a community of makers that love supporting one another. All right, so I've got 6 panels, and then inside each panel, I tried to organize it. So these are my chalk arts. So I've got 2 of each one of my chalk arts because I liked just being able to kind of have the height of it. A little negative space is okay, but I will tell you, I'm going to be filling this in with just a little bit more of these, which are great for colored pencils. You can have it to where, I'll get in that section in just a minute. All right, so these are actually colors of my one-step paint. We have 100 colors in the one-step paint, and I have just painted some tongue depressors. It allows me to be able to look at these colors, be able to make a decision on a project that I'm working on without having to have a whole lot of paint up here. So I did that, and I also love that for the fact that there's some color there. So I've got 3 baskets. I've got 1, 2, 3, which I'm going to be coming back and adding this and just putting chalk art right here. I love that these are there for us because I think it's fun just to be able to add words, even though I know that these are my chalk arts. So I've got 3 baskets that are chalk art. And then up here at the top, this is, if you don't know, this is my book, Rescue, Restore, Redecorate. I can refer to this a lot of times as far as projects, and for you, and hopefully if you create a craft wall for yourself, it's a great book that has a lot of recipes in it, but I can also refer back to it as well as what milk paints I used or what colors, that type thing. So this is a great thing to be able to have on your craft wall too, guys. These are bungee cords. So these attach onto the pegboard like this, and these bungee cords allow you to be able to put different maybe inspirational pictures, maybe they're projects that you've done, and Michelle did a great job on these as far as just being able to put some. This was done with our gold metallic chalk art with one of our stencils. And so it can be one inspiration. Maybe it's a scripture verse you want to be able to have up here that it encourages you. Scripture will do that. It's living, breathing. And how great is this? I loved you at your darkest. Romans 5:8. I love that. Here's another, work like you don't need the money. It's like, this is about passion, guys. When you're a maker, you can work for hours and hours. You want to make sure something's fabulous, that you're really proud of it. And so that little shelf up there that will probably be changing out just has some paper at the top this might be something where you'll test what do colors look like, blending. Maybe these are inspirational photos, but having this top area with your bungee cord, your clips, and then these shelves down here. All right, so let me go to the middle section and show you. Again, if you're popping on, I'm showing you our new craft wall and what we did. All of these products we got at IKEA. If you don't have an IKEA store, you can go online. And so this center section, this is a top panel at the top and one at the bottom. So again, we worked with 6 of these panels. And so I love at the top, look at this, how just to have an inspiration of a project that you've done. So this is a metal tin that I painted with the one step and used our ink transfer. And of course, you'll see some of the copper gilded, these were some little bowls that we did on a blog post. And of course, our ceramic container there that we use the ceramic paint on. So it's good to have shelves so you've got projects that were inspirational projects that you can refer back to. And also, if you're doing Facebook Lives, you want to be able to have it so they can see finished projects. They don't want to, if somebody's learning from you, they don't want to see just all the product. It's like, what can I do with this? And so, let me see if I can make that a little smaller. Okay, so then the second row that you see are basically, it's a rod that, let me go back up so you can see this. It's a rod that fits through like this. So it allows these adorable little baskets just to clip onto here. And so that you can easily remove them if you want to be able to work on them on your craft table. But we just filled them with product. Like this one has some gilding size in it. This is great to be able to just have all my brushes, how I'm going to paint. They're kept clean. I know exactly where they are. If I wanted to, I could just come back and actually write the words on here. My inner OCD would probably like that too. I've got some etching cream. And if you teach classes, These are some mica powders and some waxes. If you teach classes, these walls are perfect because maybe you have groups of 6 to come to your store and you're teaching them. Then you can have enough supplies here for the people that would sit at your table. Now, this is my work table. You can see here's my light, how I do my Facebook Lives. And if you're an affiliate, this is a setup that you can have that works. It's beautiful. It allows you to be able to show people what it is that you're working on. You've got your light set up here. And then that way, this is going to be a great backdrop. So you want to inspire, you want to make sure if you are a maker with a maker studio and you're teaching people and you're building a social media presence, you want to be able to inspire them with your backdrop. All right, so let's look below our buckets. Here, I just thought it would be fun to be able to have some colored pencils. Of course, it's all about color, and these are fun to be able to use when you're actually sketching or you're conceptualizing. Here's one of these baskets. Now look at the little hooks. See how this just goes into the peg and it lifts off. So that way I could take it off and I could use it for a project. Take it off, put it on my table, and then just go put it back. Enter OCD. There again, I can see all my supplies. I know what it looks like. I know where they are. And we just thought this was fun to put our gold leaf, our copper leaf, our silver leaf in so that way I can grab it. And I don't know about you, but creatives, we need discipline of knowing and having organization of where things are. It makes doing our projects a lot easier. So these additional little hooks, we're going to be getting more, but these are great. Not only the same thing that you can use to be able to hang your basket, but look how great this is. You can have multiple pairs of scissors, which we intend on doing. You can have different rulers, metal rulers, plastic rulers. Okay, so you were asking, you can get these setups on Amazon. They're just iPhone holders, so it'll hold your iPhone here. And then it'll have a cosmetic light above it. That way you can do hands-free. And it's going to clip into your laptop like that. So we can talk about that later. That's something that Marty Stevens, our affiliate manager, is in the process. We do teachings every Wednesday. Matter of fact, our teaching here at a Maker Studio is bar none, hands down, the best. The collateral material we give you to be able to build a business, as well as training you every Wednesday. It's pretty phenomenal. All right, so I've got my buckets, my shelves, my basket, my hooks for my rulers and everything. And now, are these just the best? Are these the cutest? So I love the fact that they're clear, and look at this. Look at this. So they actually, they'll just pull out like this. So that way you can grab your stuff out and then just push it back. So that way you can see everything here. And of course, we had fun. We're going to be adding a lot more of these because we plan on using this wall quite a bit. Here's some of my chalk art spreaders. Here's some tags, some actual chalk. But so fun. All right, so let me come back this way. So there again, you can see if you're popping on, be sure and tell me your name, tell me where you're tuning in from. Love to know if you're a new maker. This is something that we are here to support you in a community. Many of y'all know that we've just gone through a horrific tornado and COVID, but we are on the other side, and we are so excited about all the new things that we are doing here at a Maker Studio. So we're just showing you our craft wall and our new backdrop. So the 6 panels, I've got this here with my chalk art and examples of my chalk art, the bungee cord at the top. The center panel, you want to be able to have, again, examples of pieces that you're doing. And then this has my gold leaf, my brushes and everything. And then this third section is basically, again, I have my panel at the top, panel at the bottom, and then I've got all of my inks and my ceramic paints. Now, I will tell you this, that we are getting ready to have a huge ceramic paint sale. I'm just going to give you the heads up that it's going to actually start, I think, this Thursday. You'll be seeing some information about it. So we're really excited about that. So these little shelves, let me come over here closer so you can see it. So these little shelves are the same way. See how they fit into the peg? How great is that? And I love how flushed it is, like that. And so the depth of it, you see about how deep it is. So you can very easily fit 3 of these tubes. We've just done a couple, but you've got more than enough room to be able to fit 3 tubes. So that way, if you have a store and you want to be able to have plenty of inventory here to pull from, to teach from, it's no problem. Or if you're a crafter and you want to just have this in your room, you can do it like we did. But also, if you are building an affiliate business and you're doing stuff online, you want to be able to have it colorful and organized and looking cute, cute, cute. All right, so these are basically a shelf with our ceramic paints and then our gel inks. So it allows you to be able to see these 4 shelves will easily fit all of them. And then I love this. These are probably one of my favorite. Now look at this. Here's our hook again. So you're going to want to make sure you get plenty of these hooks. And then everything like this just kind of fits over it with these wire baskets. We're actually going to move these up. And here again, you can put your paper here to be able to say what it is that you've got in it. But these are just the perfect thing to hold your stamps. And of course, you can put them back in these containers. Your stencils. And of course, here's some of our transfers, which we've got more transfers coming out this late summer, early fall. And then we did the bungee cords again. So these just clip into your pegs like this, and they're really taut. So look how I can even put in a wood piece that I did, or these were some tags that we had done, and it will hold wood pieces too. Now, I wouldn't hold anything with too much weight, but as far as definitely paper items, smaller wood pieces like this, it's just great. So when you're creating a craft wall, when you're creating a backdrop, don't make people wonder. They want to be able to see what am I going to be making. So always show finished goods. And you might even have an area where you create a shelf. You could even maybe have these buckets more at the top, not too high, because visually you want to be able to see what's in the buckets. But you may want to create a center panel. Maybe this area at the top is going to be what you're going to be showing them that day. Excuse me, when you do a Facebook Live. You want to just be able to have an area where they see some finished goods, some inspiration. Maybe you want to do it more on the lower right-hand corner, or maybe you actually may have it on your table. So usually when I have my table, I'll have pieces that are actually finished, things when we've done blog posts. If you are a maker, you can get a hold of Marty, but we have a toolbox, guys. It's called a Maker's Toolbox. And in that toolbox, we have videos and collateral material and photographs and everything for you to be able to reshare on social media. But these were just some books that we painted and used the transfer and put those together. And actually, I don't know if y'all remember this, I actually were sticking our knives in this. You can make these in your kitchen and stick knives in it to be able to use as a holder. Hey, Amy. Hey, Cheryl. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, Thelma. Hey, Tiffany. So, gosh, so many great people on here. It's so good to see your room. I mean, your names on here. But you know what? That's the thing, Karen. You can, you don't have to have a room. This is just a wall. This is just an area so you can have things organized, so you can see where things are and they look fabulous. Now, these are some more examples of just some tear sheets, recipe cards that we have in the Maker's Toolbox that will show you how, even step by step, as far as how to do projects like this. You may even want to be able to print some of these off, some of our blogs that we've done in the past, and have those and then put those up on your bungee cords just for inspiration. All right, so I thought that would just be kind of fun to show you what we've put together for our craft wall, how we're going to be growing it. We're going to be adding more pieces to it. We're going to be putting our logo and things up along the top. And then I'm going to turn this around. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to take my iPhone and I'm going to put it in my holder. Sorry. I'll put it in my holder right here. So see, as far as, now I'm hands-free, and then that way I can show you how to be able to do projects. So I think one thing that we learned from the Makerthon that we just did, and if you weren't a part of it, you can go to our closed group. It's called Crafting a Beautiful Life. And y'all may be going, oh, I'm getting so confused. What else is she talking about? So we have a maker studio, which is what the page that you're watching me on. And then we have a closed group where we show projects that we've done, and it's called Crafting a Beautiful Life. And so it's makers on there as well as customers that like to be able to show what you've done. I have a I've actually trademarked this, and it's called Enjoy the Bragging Rights. You know, it's kind of like the sad thing is about being in COVID, you know, to get dressed up or to have your hair done and get ready and not have anywhere to go. It's like to be making something, to be able to craft something, to be able to come up with something. What do you want to do? You want to teach somebody. You want to show someone. You want to be able to give it to someone as a gift. If you made it and it just sat there and you never were able to share with anybody about what you did, it wouldn't make it near as much fun. And so we created that group called Crafting a Beautiful Life for you to be able to, one, enjoy the bragging rights, share what it is that you've done, but also use it as a platform to be able to teach. I love teaching. You know, many of you know that I made furniture for Land's 28 years, but I love teaching people. I love, I guess I've gotten to this age that, especially with younger gals, I love having a group in my studio here and teaching, but also for many of you, especially now that we are in this pandemic time, that you can come on and pop online, and we have virtual friends too that we love and care about and have burdens for that that you can teach them. So yes, Carmelina, it is about empowerment. So those of you that are just popping on, I'm just wanting you to see my new craft wall that's going to get bigger, but we had a blast. And I do want to do a shout out to Michelle. Michelle is transitioning into a very exciting time. She'll be here at the studio just in a different capacity. It's exciting for her to help me on projects like this. And she loves it. It's so much fun. She's not able to talk to y'all as much, but she's here, and we get to love on her, and we still are a very big part of her life, as well as she's a big part of our life. So she's still part of the AMS team. All right, so yes, Sharon, you can still sign up to be a maker. You know, I do want to remind you guys too, and this is important to me, we are not an MLM company. We're not a direct sales company. Frankly, I want community. I want to be able to mentor other women to have a business, but there's aspects of direct sales that I don't like. I think I'm just going to leave it at that. There are just aspects of it that I don't care for. But I do want to help women to be able to build a business online. We are in a different age and a different time, and social media is going to have a stronger presence more than ever. And our Makerthons show that there's so many of you that are so precious and so giving and so loving, and to be able to have an opportunity to make extra money by using your crafting and your passion to do that, I think it's awesome. You know, Brenda, you can, let me think about as far as wheelchair accessibility. My table's really high. You can lower this to where you can get to it easier, and you could have some carts. You could have somebody help you with that, but definitely, here's the thing too. This is a backdrop. This is great to be able to work from, but the main reason, like for me, is for aesthetics. I want to be able to have this so that way you can kind of see, and if I'm talking to you and I'm like, oh wait, okay, and I'll just reach up there and get it, and I can bring that down. All right, so gosh, I love. My ADD kind of kicks in when I see y'all's comments, when I see Amy's comments, and Sharon and Brenda. Yes, please. If you have friends that you know that are crafty, that they love making things, you know, I'll show you my book. It's behind the Rescue, Restore, Decorate book. It's called A Maker's Guide. And it is all about going back to your first love. I don't know a lot of you, if you were, when you were younger, what your stories are, but my mother took me to the community center, and she took me to, I had everything from ballet to guitar lessons to tap lessons to everything. She wanted to expose me to everything, but when I got involved in craft lessons, it was like I lost all count of time. I loved making things with my hands. It was very comforting. It was very calming to me. And so even as I got older and I went to school to become an attorney, I realized I needed to go back to my first love, and that was making things. And so that permeated into making things within my home, cooking, decorating, crafting. I love making gifts. You know, one of the things, and I'm going to be quiet because I'm going to show y'all a little trick. One of the things that that I loved about Saturday and July 4th was the fact that when you saw, you can go back on this page and see it, but when setting my table and putting the flowers together, and when my guest came, and they came outside, and of course it got prettier because as the sun kind of went down and all the candles were lit everywhere, they knew that I was happy to see them. They knew, you know, guys, have y'all seen people lately that you haven't seen in a while? And it's like, oh my gosh, just to hug somebody, just to be around somebody. We'd all missed each other so terribly. And I forget how relational we are. We need people. So, but to be able to show them what I'd done and how it was put together, and they were so grateful, and they were there till probably almost midnight. And then they were like, oh my gosh, what time is it? We gotta get out of here. And of course, the next day was Sunday, and I'm just talking about July 4th. But then they were all started texting me saying, what a beautiful evening. And it was just priceless to be together. And our friends are the family that we choose. And so, but if I hadn't have gone to the trouble, wasn't any trouble, but if I hadn't have worked on really trying to make that a beautiful experience for everybody, I don't know that it would have been near as enjoyable. So, so we're all on the same page. All of you love loving on people and making things and making gifts. Many of you have the gift of teaching. I know you do, Carrie. And it's a way for you to be able to build a community online. Absolutely, Carmelina. This is about women lifting women, 100%. And that was why I pulled away from direct sales, because many times it isn't about women lifting women. It's more about competition with women, and I'm not about that. I want to be able to teach and help. And I don't know about y'all, but when there's discord, I kind of clam up. I need to get along with people, and I need relationships, and I need friends that are sweet and loving to me. So, hey, Melinda. All right, so I did want to show you, those of you who are popping on here, you need to go back and do replay, because I'll show you my craft wall, my new organized craft wall that my inner OCD is very happy with, and we're going to continue to add to this. And you can go back to the front. As far as, it was really inexpensive. It's just 6 panels, bungee cords, hangers. We're going to be going back and getting a lot more and adding to it. But it really makes it great and accessible for all your products here at A Maker Studio. So I do want to show you something. This is also from IKEA. I'm going to turn this around for just a second. So these are, you can see the IKEA tag on here. And I'll be quite honest with you, I don't remember how much these run. I think they were like $1.50. I might have been more like $1. And IKEA will have sales, and that's when I'll buy a whole lot of stuff, but this is incredible linen. Now, if you checked out on our blog post, we put actually on the Maker Balls page, and it's in our toolbox, that we did some hoops. So not only can you use these as tea towels, this linen is so gorgeous and the quality is so great. These look great in hoops. So if you like doing art on hoops, and you'll see one of our blog posts that we did, I could just easily push this fabric through my hoop after I do my art on it with my ink. And it's beautiful. So that way you could get easily two hoops out of this tea towel that I got for like $1. So when you're working on your inks, you do want to make sure that you set something underneath it to be able to kind of protect it, some type of cardboard, because especially with this linen, that it's going to have a tendency to kind of bleed through it. But one thing I wanted to be able to kind of show you here today too is about mixing colors and values. And so this is one of my stencils. This is called Animal Kingdom. And it is a 2-pack, and it comes with both of these. I'll turn this around so that way you can see it. It's a 2-pack. Now, I'm just going to tell you, I don't know if y'all have seen this one with the stamp. This we did on some white mugs. Ashley photographed it. We did it with kind of a chocolate ink, ceramic ink. It is out of this world, knocked out. So when you see this, it's like, what in the world would I use that stamp for? go back in our images and our post and see. It's just phenomenal. These are very classic in nature. Believe it or not, cheetahs are huge right now. They're very, very in. So to be able to just even do a tea towel in your bathroom with a cheetah. But one of the ones that I love is mixing the bee and the crown and the laurel wreath. So I'm going to cut this out. I want to be able to show you. So when you're working with our stencils, these stencils can be used multiple times. They are adhesive, and you can wash them just in water, and it'll rinse off the ink. Keep your little container like this, your package, so that way we're going to be putting it on our wall. That way you can put it back in there if you want to keep up with them. All right, so I'm going to lay this out. I want to just kind of show you what I was thinking on this. So I'm going to put my laurel wreath about right here. Those of you who know me know that I collect laurel wreaths, wooden ones. These are symbolic. They're Italian. They were started out, and they would actually do them in wood, carve them, and gild them in gold, and would give them like as a trophy. I'll have to show you that in my house one time. But if you get a laurel wreath, if you're given a laurel wreath, it is symbolic of reaching basically the very top of your profession, and it's basically like a trophy. And so, like if somebody got their PhD in science or whatever, they might get a laurel wreath presented to them. All right, so now I've got my, I want to come down here and make sure that you can see that. I'm going to be working it like this. So I'm going to have to do the laurel wreath first. When you're working on two different stencils, and like if I want to be able to position this down in here just a little bit more, you're going to have to do one at a time. So I may do my bee and my crown first, and then I'll need to dry it, at least with a hair dryer, and then I'll come back and I'll do this one. So if you're just now popping on, please tell me where you're from. I'll be checking it later. The main, where do you find the wood wreaths? Okay, here, see, I'm ADD. Actually, Lori, the wooden wreaths that are very old, the majority of them are probably about 150 to 200 years old. I think I bought most all of mine in Rome and Florence. Those were the days that we could travel to Italy. And those of you, I am actually celebrating a big, big birthday this year. I'm not really excited about it. And we were actually going to go to Provence and rent a house and have all of our kids go and spend a week there. But we can't do that now. And so we are trying to look at different options, but it makes me really sad. Oh my gosh, look at all these names. See, here's the deal. When I have a cameraman, I usually have two of them or somebody else will do it for me. I never get to see everybody. This really allows me to connect with y'all. Hey, Judy. Hey, Christine. Hey, Anita. Hey, Carla. Hey, Lori. So hope everybody had a fantastic 4th. And you're popping on, you can go back. Please do hashtag replay. Let me know where you're coming from. Be sure and sprinkle. And I'm showing you today my new craft wall, and you'll want to go back because I'll go through as far as letting you know this is my backdrop, and I want to be able to have you guys to be able to have this craft wall too. Our inner OCD loves being able to have that organized, and it didn't cost much at all. All right, so the other thing I wanted to be able to show you today, I did want to show you my favorite tea towels from IKEA and how inexpensive they are. You can use these on hoops. You can check out one of our blog posts that we had done that on. And also, I'm going to do this as placement. I'm actually going to put him on first. And I am working on our Animal Kingdom stencil today. But I want to show you how to be able to create color in gradations. So you'll notice on the hoop blog post that we have that you'll be seeing later about gradating. Many of you, when you've done your inks, you'll have a spreader and you'll apply the ink to the spreader and then you're putting it on here. And then basically it's one color. Or maybe you might come back and you might do this one color and you might do this another color. So what I want to talk to you about is mixing your inks so they can be gradated. And as a rule, when we're talking about kind of more monochromatic gradation, you're wanting to go from dark to light. You usually don't want to go from up at the top from dark and then go lighter. Let the darkest color be at your base and then go up this way to where it's lighter. So I'm actually, I started with a green. I may switch that over. Let me put this over to the side and let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, can you see this? Okay. All right, so I've taken 3 colors. I've taken my, well, I Declare, and Grass is Always Greener. Yes, I have a lot of fun naming these. And Hush Your Mouth. Those of you who aren't from the South, hold on. Just tell me, those of you are from the South, did your mother ever say to you, hush your mouth? You know, my friends in the Midwest and on the East Coast and the West Coast, they would probably go, no. But somebody tell me, did your mother say, hush your mouth? It wasn't ugly. To me, it was kind of like, you know, there's another way. Like sometimes I'll go, shut up. I'm saying it like, shut up. Not like shut up, but shut up. So it's kind of more, it's funny. But my mother would look at me and she would give me that look and she would go, hush your mouth. So that's where that came from. That's from my, I love this. Isn't that encouraging? Kind of brings back memories. It's like, oh my gosh, brings back such sweet memories. But hush your mouth. And we can kind of soften it just a little bit. Carol, do you still say hush your mouth all the time? That's so funny. I love that. Okay. All right, so anyway, so this is Hush Your Mouth. You'll never forget this, will you? And the grass is always greener. They're just all these little Southern sayings. You're going to make me cry, Christine. Oh. I just have to say this about, thank you, Christine, for the encouragement. You have a gift of encouragement and affirmation. And I received that. We all are reflecting. We're all creatives. That was part of the reason why I wrote a Maker's Guide. We are all creatives. And when you create, your love of what it is that you're making, you're reflecting your creator. God was the first maker. And I think about flowers. I'm just blown away at like bees and beehives and what they can do and everything. And I don't want to ever have it to where we get to a point that we take any of this for granted. It's beautiful. And how when we make things, a part of our soul is in them. That's why we love giving them away. And so I can never separate my love of making things and realizing that it is from my creator. So that's why I'm going to enjoy it so much more. So thank you for that word. That's why I love playing music in here. I'm going to love my OCD craft wall and my table and then my natural light. It's hard. I will say this. It's hard to have a craft area without natural light. Melinda, I'm just seeing this. Dry up. Yes, I think my mother said dry up. Dry up. That's a little harsher than hush your mouth, honey. So, all right, so let me turn this down. Thank you for bearing with me this morning. Maybe I've had too much coffee. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna turn this down again. So when we are doing gradations, remember as far as what I just said, if you're just now popping on here, I wanna know where you're coming in from. Welcome to Maker Studio. My name is Amy Howard, and I'm showing you my craft wall today, but I wanna also show you a little trick. So when you are working on gradations, you're going to want to start at the base and go up. And we're working with our gel inks, and you're going to want to mix your darkest color and then go up to the very top, and it can look so cool. So I'm going to switch this over and probably do more like a gray, but let me just show you. I'm working with my white, my blue, and this green. So it's kind of like, this is a tile that I got at Home Depot. And you can use a ceramic tile. You can just buy one-offs. A lot of times when I go to estate sales, I'll get things like this. But also, you can be working off a glass plate if you want to. It's just something that can easily be cleaned. And I'll squirt out a little bit of, like on this one, I squirted out a little bit of green. Squirt out a little bit of blue. And then a little bit of the white. So if I was wanting to work on a color, so I need 3 colors. I'm gonna need a light green, if my main color is green, like I was gonna work on my stencil with my asparagus, and I wanted to do it in values of green, not a solid green. So I'm gonna have 3 different colors. So I'm basically gonna take a little bit of this green here, this ink. I'm working with gel ink, and I want 3 different colors of green because I wanna go from dark to light. So basically, I'm taking a little bit of that green and I'm mixing it with the white. And it's good to work on something that is not going to have absorption to it. So that's why you want to work on a glass plate. You want to work on a piece of ceramic. So there's my light green, okay? Now I want to have maybe a medium value. So I've got this navy here. I didn't want to work with black. It would go too dark too fast, and I wanted it to be a little bit more of a Kelly green. So I'm going to pull some of my green ink here, and I'm mixing 3 colors, guys. That's what I'm doing this morning, because we're talking about having values when we're working with inks. You don't have to do one color. If you're working with a stencil, you can take it from dark to light. I'm going to grab just a little bit more blue. This. Love that color. Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna, I may make some over here just a little bit lighter. As a rule, 3 is enough. But as I'm seeing that color, I'm thinking that it might be better that I had just a little bit lighter. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about now. So I'm going to bring this back over here. Trying to protect that. Getting ink everywhere. So instead of, what I'm showing you this morning as far as gradating, instead of just squirting some of this ink out onto my spreader and doing this, I'm just showing you how you can make some gradated values. So I just took my white, my blue, and my green. So I've got a lighter color, goes up into more of a medium value, then it goes a little darker, and then to the darkest. So I can start here. You know what I realized I don't have on my wall? I don't have any tape. Hold on just a second. Hold on. I'm going to get some tape. That's going to go on a hanger. So hold on, guys. Oh, thank you. So let me show you. Here's what I'm going to be doing. See these hooks? Can you see this? Can you see this hook? That's why I want you to have some extra ones so that as you're working, and you could even have, like if you have a lot of tapes, I could just put that in there, but I want to have everything that I need to be able to do projects with you on my craft wall. So that way I don't have to get up and interrupt you. Okay. Dry up was when you were crying. Sorry. Maybe it's good that I'm not seeing these. Hey guys, let me see. Mom would say hush. You were raised in Hawaii and your mom still said hush your mouth? Well, maybe she had some southern roots. Okay, this is fun. Let's just do this for a second. While I'm working on this, I just want y'all to share. What was something that your mom said to you as you were growing up that you really remember that you find yourself saying to your own children? Just share that on here. I'm so curious. So mine was, and part of the reason why I did it was hush your mouth. So just pop on here and share with the group, because I would love to just see what y'all say, especially people that are watching that aren't maybe from the South. Just something that to remember that it's like you catch yourself sometimes going, oh my gosh, I sound just like my mother. All right, so I'm just gonna go down here again. So I'm just using some tape. Y'all might be like going, why are you using tape? Well, look at this. See how I cut it? I don't have a whole lot of forgiving room right here, because so then as I'm doing my ink, I may come off this way and I don't want my ink on my towel. So what I'll do is, not that I need it from an adhesive standpoint, I just do it as a protection that I don't want my ink to get outside of my stencil. And then I'll just take it off. So I'm just gonna put this down like this. See, that way, if I do this, then that way I haven't gotten it on my actual towel. All right, so I'm gonna put a couple more pieces of tape. So pop on here, guys, if you're just not tuning in. Hello, my name's Amy Howard, and I am the founder of A Maker Studio. This is part of my love of crafting a beautiful life. Look at this. Is this so funny? I forgot to put my jewelry on this morning. Gene Howard's going to ask me, are you not married today? And then a lot of people had asked, Amy, you never wear red nail polish. I did this. For the first time in my life, I wore red nail polish for it was July 4th. So Cheryl, if you're watching, I know she's a fabulous nail tech. She was like, I can't believe you're wearing red polish. I did that to be patriotic for the 4th. And I realize y'all are looking at my red nails this morning going, we cannot handle this. Our mother maker has got red nail polish on. Because when you're doing videos, to be quite honest, your nails need to be more neutral. So I'm breaking all of the rules. Actually gonna tear that because I want to be able to. All right, so that's a lot of work, sorry. But on some of these stencils, when you cut them, there's not a whole lot of room because there's a lot of designs on one page. All right, so here's my colors that I've worked with. In actuality, I wish I was kind of doing this with grays, but I'm just going to do this with the green because I mixed it up. So I'm going to take a little bit of my lighter color and load it up. Is everybody with me? Be telling me what your mom said and that you're saying, because I'm going to enjoy looking at those later. All right, so I'm going to start with just a little bit of this down here. No, wait, I've just done the opposite. So sorry. I want you to go from dark to light. All right, I'm going to start with my darkest color. Hold on just a second. Now see, this is what you get from trying to talk. And I need to stay focused on what I'm doing. All right, so I'm gonna take my darkest color. I'll load that up. I'm gonna do that first. Down here. All right, so that dark color there. Now I'm going to grab some more of my medium value. Let's go from lighter. Now let's go into this medium color right here. Okay, is everybody with me? So let's lay this down here. You can blend it in just a little bit if you want to. Grab just a little bit of my darker one here. Other reason why you see I wear an apron, I'm so bad about wiping stuff on my apron, but I mean that's kind of why that's why I wear them. Okay, all right, so I've gone darker, medium value. I'm gonna go into this, just the plain color of my ink here, just a little. Could come back and add some later. And then I'm going to go into my lighter color. Here. Is everybody with me? All right. And a little bit more darker. Okay. All right, now I can take my tape off. Now, if you haven't worked with the inks before, I've got these laying out here, so I'll just kind of let you see. There's a ton of different colors, and we are introducing, I feel bad telling you this, we're introducing 6 new colors. But look, there they are up on my craft wall. So pretty, pretty. You can make, guys, you can mix these colors and make tons of colors. All right, so let me take this off. I want to be able to see the pretty now. Oh, thank you. Cheryl knows it's really hot. It's hard for me because I usually don't paint my nails red. It's really hard for me to have red nails. All right, so I'm gonna turn this down again. Take all my tape off. That just gave me some extra protection. So probably what I'm gonna do, now I will tell you part of the reason why I had the green mixed up this morning, part of the reason why I had the green mixed up was because I intended on doing my asparagus, which I'm still going to. I went in the back and I was like, Jean, I need my asparagus stencil. So I'm gonna turn this around just a second. So I want you to be able to see how you can create the gradation with it. So normally when you're doing blending like this, do your darkest color at the base. And then part of what I'm doing as far as mixing this palette over here, you can have, of course, you're always gonna need your white here. And then I chose not to do black. I used the blue and then your main colors. So you can create your monochromatic to where I'll mix it to where I have my blue, my green, my white. So I had my lightest color, I created a middle value, then I actually wound up doing 4. So these gradations allow you, when you're doing inks like this, to really have a lot more depth than just doing one color. And so the other thing is, depending on what you're working on, let's say, on this stencil, I have these adorable flowers and these leaves. To just do one color of ink on this leaf wouldn't have near the interest and the value to where if I was working with 3 different colors. Does everybody understand that? Heidi, Hold Your Horses will be in next week. So it will be in next week. All right, so I wanted to, Carol, I love that. Pretty is as pretty does. You know what, Carol? That needs to become one of the new chalk cards. We have 12 new chalk art colors. We have 6 new inks. Pretty is as pretty does definitely needs to be a color. So hopefully, I want y'all to just, when you start working with these inks, I want you to start doing gradations. I want you to start modeling, because it really can make a huge difference. All right, Karen, your question, can you do the same technique with ceramic? Absolutely you can. Absolutely. If you didn't watch the Makerthon, you need to go back and watch the Makerthon, because we had some girls doing, I want to get my camera back up here. We had them thinning down and doing washes of the ceramic paints. Yes, you can totally manipulate them and blend them like that, so they can be monochromatic like this, or they can have multiple values. I think the one thing that I want you to do is I want you to experiment. That's part of the whole reason. Like when I come in here, and I literally will schedule my time, and you kind of have to do that. Give yourself the freedom. It's like from 1 to 3, I'm going to be working in my studio. And sometimes when I come over here and the music's going, I love listening to worship music, and the people in the offices, they'll come over and they'll be having their pad, and they're like, can I talk to you? And I'm like, I share with people, like, I need scheduled time to where I can be creative and not feel guilty about it, because for me, being creative, drawing, and developing new products and new processes and new kits and all that type thing is part of the passion behind a maker studio. Since you're spending your part of your morning with me, I will tell you that we have been for several months have been working on kits that I'm going to be teaching you all kinds of things from makers that are semi-famous in their own world, because my whole vision for a maker studio was never to be just about stencils and paints and inks. While they're great, they are a beautiful way to be able to take something that has a lot of detail like this and to use different things like inks and ceramic paints and chalk arts. But I want to be able to expose you to understand what does crafting a beautiful life really look like. So I'm terrible at keeping secrets, and I'm going to have to keep my mouth shut, because Jean Howard is going to be coming over here going, what have you been talking about this morning? We're getting calls, people wanting to know, so please don't call. Don't get me in trouble. All right, so I'm going to show you this one more time, then I've got to get off. So let me just show you. I'm going to turn this around down here. So you can see my bee. I may come in here just a little bit and add a little bit more detail, but I'm loving the gradation of that. So my laurel wreath, actually, I'm gonna cut this guy out. They shouldn't have put a Maker Studio right there. It's always good to brand everything, but I don't want that to interfere with my design. Open this up just a little bit more. You can manipulate this as much as you want. And I have to add some tape. You know what? I'm going to cut it in half. Ta-da! Watch this. Boom. So that way, I want my laurel wreath to go around my bumblebee guy, but he's got to dry. He's got to dry, actually come all the way around him. So let me tell you about this. As far as heat setting, I saw somebody asking that question. So I need to let him dry. I'll hit him with a hairdryer and let him dry 2 hours. That way he's going to be dry to the touch. Then I'll come back and I'll finish my laurel wreath, and then I'll allow it to dry for 2 hours. Once it's dry for 2 hours, I'm going to set a cloth on top of it, like this. And then I'm gonna do my iron over it to where I need to make sure that the temperature is about as high as it can go. And a lot of you have those heat presses, which are great, but for 2 or 3 minutes, you need to heat set them. Here's the other thing you need to make sure. The heat sets it and makes it permanent. Don't wash it in really hot water. You need to wash it in cool water, and don't throw it in a really hot dryer. It's gonna make it fade. These will last a lot longer. If you take care of them and you don't put them in hot water and hot dryers. And then I did want to show you this. I had a lot of people, I'm the weirdo at the estate sales. What do? I go into the kitchen. Everybody's looking for furniture. I'm heading to the kitchen and I go into the bedroom because I love getting really beautiful linens that I can make tea towels. And there was one time that I had gone in and actually, see these, do these not have the cutest? This one's dirty, but I was testing it today. I bought, they had 50, yes, Karen, a dry iron. No, you don't want any steam in it. But I bought 50 of these cocktail napkins for $10, 50. So that way I can wash them, and I do love to use the monogram stencil and do that on here. And then, I have bought these coasters, estate sales. I'm telling you guys, they are the way to go to get really inexpensive linens. And I do these with my monograms on them. You can put maybe 4 or 6 of these together. I do the monogram, put a ribbon around it. You can sell these. You can sell them. And, you know, especially if you go to estate sales and you turn around and resell things, let them know the history behind it. If you know any history about the house or the people or whatever, you can also customize these. So that way, even if you get an Etsy shop or you sell on the marketplace online, you can customize these for people very, very easily. And monograms never go out of style. They're so classic. All right, so I'm gonna keep working on this project. If you just now are tuning in, you need to go back, watch at the very beginning so you can see my craft wall that I've put together that we're gonna continue to work on. I have to be honest with you, I don't normally get to see comments, and I don't normally get to see you and talk to you. I like this. I like being able to connect. It's important for me that you know my heart and my vision behind a Maker Studio. And I know there are so many of us that have the same heart to reach others and to make a difference. We're here to make a difference. It isn't about self-affirmation. It's about how understanding your gifts and your passions. I tell people this all the time. Your gifts and your passions are your purpose. And when you are in that zone of doing what it is that you're supposed to do, it's like there's air. It's like gets under your wings, and it's just like whoosh, whoosh. And it's easy. When we are going against the way we're supposed, what we were created to do, it is hard, arduous work. So my prayer and my goal for you is that you maybe you're finally liberated in realizing that you love creativity and you love your passion, then I want to help you figure out a way to be able to make a living at it, 100%. So if you're not a maker, we'd love for you to become a maker. We have the Maker Bosses on there, but I'm just going to tell you, as I said earlier, our training, what we're doing every Wednesday, we do training that people would pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for every week, that we're training you how to build a business online. We are not a direct sales company. We are not an MLM. We're here to pour into you and go and make the world a more beautiful place. Have a fantastic week, everybody. Go back. Let's start making craft walls and enjoying the bragging rights and sharing and teaching. Love you all.